it's written from Mary's point of view. She's telling the story after Jesus has been killed. And of course, they're all in that place of not really knowing very much. And evidently, there are a couple of these guys who are coming to where Mary lives to kind of be there, be with her, not necessarily supportive, but it feels like maybe it's a protection thing or just kind of watching her or whatever it might be. So there are these people in her house with her. And in the story, Mary has a chair. She has a chair that no one is supposed to sit in because it was Joseph's chair. And Joseph is dead by this point in the story. But this was a chair for Joseph, and no one was going to sit in it. And with these two guys who, of course, were looking around, where do I sit? Well, there's a chair. I'm going to sit in the chair. And Mary is, at the very core of her being, saying, do not sit in that chair, because that's Joseph's chair. Now that says to me something about commitment and care and holding and love in a way that our romantic visions never could. So just imagine someone that you're so committed to that you had a chair that kind of represented their presence that was still there in your life, and no one was going to sit in that chair. That, it seems to me, is real love. And what about these angels? What about these angels? Not only did they appear in great glory sometimes, they had names. And once you have a name, you start to get a picture, and we all have pictures about what angels look like, and they've got really big wings, and they're usually wearing light-colored clothing, and they're probably glowing just a little bit, and probably hovering just a little bit off the ground. If you were kind of a female angel, you were probably playing a small harp. I'm not sure that Gabriel was, but you get the picture. This kind of amazing vision. I have no idea what showed up to Mary. And using kind of my artist's imagination, I can imagine a lot of things. In this version of the nativity story that we did a few years ago called the Garage Door Nativity, I got to be Gabriel. And I actually was dressed in white, and with the no hair and whatever, I was glowing for a lot of reasons. But the clothes were a little bit just off. Just a little bit off. And all the angels in that play were dressed in clothes that were a little bit off. Bits and pieces of lace here and there attached with safety pins and just some smudges. And they looked like they came from a rummage sale, which they did. So who knows what angels look like? And who knows what form they take in our lives today? Now, I can't tell you whether or not you should believe in angels. That's really up to you. That's a good progressive thing to do. If you want to believe in angels, that's fine. We will be supportive of that. And actually, what you'll find is that people will tell their quiet stories about the way that angels have visited them. Perhaps slightly in private, because we're not too sure, as the rational sorts of people that we also are, that we want to be too out about our angels. But I know, just from looking at you, and knowing that you're the sorts of people that would come out on a day like today to be here for the first Sunday in Advent, that you're also the sort of people that probably see angels in your life. I had a little visitation just this morning. I woke up, I have no idea why, but that piece from West Side Story came into my head. Something's coming. This is anticipation. This is the penultimate story about anticipation. Something's coming. Something's good. He's so excited. We had decided that we would use film clips in some of these services, and we had another one lined up. But this morning I had this little visitation, which as an artist happens quite often, surprisingly, where I don't know where that came from in my mind or my imagination. I mean, thank God I woke up when I did, or I might have missed that one. And so through the power of technology, which I'm sure angels are using today, through the power of technology, I was able to text Meredith, and I sent her a link, and she's got it put in there like it was supposed to happen forever. But that was like a little angel visitation. Oh, this story. And just think about that story a little bit, West Side Story. It was a powerful story about real love and the transformation that happens and the walls that get stepped over, jumped over, leaped over when we feel that love. And it also includes the kind of tragedy that's also part of the Jesus story as well, because in the end, we know what happens to Tony. But that whole episode transforms people right and left in that story. In the final scene, where they're in that kind of playground, and Tony is dead, and someone starts to come, the jets come to start to pick him up. And his arm drops, and the sharks come up to help carry his body. And both gangs carry that body out. If that isn't another kind of real love, I don't know what is, even in the middle of that tragedy. And perhaps that's the way that it works. That love is mysterious, it's unexpected, it's hard. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort. And it can happen like that. You can see someone across the room and know something real in just a moment. Love is real. It comes in so many forms. And if we're willing to pay attention, if we're willing to look for the something good that's coming, it will. Something's coming. Something good. Amen.